So I want to talk a little bit about community volunteering and serving on boards. Here at National Bank of Arizona, we actively encourage our bankers and associates to serve on boards.
Sure.
What insights and directions would you kind of give those who have the experience to lend to nonprofits and serve on different boards?
So number one, I would say make sure you have the passion for the mission. Don't just sit on a board to sit on a board. Make sure it's coming from your heart.
Right.
And make sure you're dedicated and committed. And I would also add to make sure you know what the expectations are of the board. And those are all really important and very relevant.
Right. So let's say I want to join an organization and I want to give back. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure if that means, volunteering or in the actual act or what that organization does. It might be on a board, might be on a committee. I don't know. So Melissa, where would you kind of direct me?
Yep. So first of all, I think you as a person who may not have heard of us or know much about us, connecting with others within your network and understanding what boards they serve on. And I think we see a lot of board members come in from people saying, gosh, here's someone who really likes your mission and wants to help and support in any way. And then we'll sit down and have a conversation on the best way that can be for you. I would also say, and add to what Pam said earlier about being on a board and having the passion is number one as well in my books. But, if you can't start on a board, because that's you have a fiduciary and legal, ability, and you have to be able to understand what that organization, where they're at, what they're going through in their financials. And if you can't do that yet, then plug into one of our committees. We have a finance committee, a development committee. If there's certain areas and skills you think you can lend, maybe start there. And it's for both of us. You can kind of test the waters and see, do you want to, play a role in a bigger way?
Well said.
That's a very good point. Volunteering too for the organization, maybe just to start as well. I know I get a lot of associates coming to me that they say, I want to sit on a board. I'm like, well, my first question is, what are you passionate about?
Yeah.
What are you really passionate about? And I use also the resources for Alliance of Arizona Nonprofits and Arizona Community Foundation.
Yep.
They're
And
really
I'll
good
add,
resources.
I would also add, Pam, that Arizona State University, the Lodestar, they're really set up for all things nonprofit.
Yeah.
And they have a board where organizations like us go in and actually list where we need board members. And so you can go even start there and see if one of them listed on there is ideal for you. And then you can go through their system and, that organization will connect with you and follow up.
Yeah, good point.
Are there a lot of open board positions and needs in the nonprofit community here in Arizona? I'll ask that to both.
Yeah. Well, as I started earlier, there are 28,000 nonprofits in Arizona. So if that doesn't give you a number, each one of them have a board. They're all different sizes. And yes, there is always a need. And I think some people will always lean into, well, what skills do we need? I think it's always important to be clear about having someone, legal, having a financial person. Sometimes like us, we don't have an HR department.
Right.
So having someone who understands that role is great. But it's also, I think, important for that potential board member to ask the organization, what phase of the organization are you in? What life cycle, they call it, are you in? Because like us, we're kind of a 23-year-old startup. We're reinventing what this organization is. We may need more people with that marketing background and the entrepreneurial sense and people who can connect in the community. So sometimes the skills aren't always cut and dry of we need this, this, and this. There are some that I think any nonprofit is always going to look for, but they just want passionate community advocates that really love what they're doing and will be an extension of that.
Yeah, really well said.
Right.
Pam?
I would say also that when you have a new board member come on board and they have a certain skill set, you want them to share that, not to just sit there, right?
Absolutely engage.
Make sure you engage. And I think I've heard that in some cases where sometimes somebody joins a board just to join a board and they just don't really share and they don't really let everyone know what they're good at or what their experiences are.